Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Uh,
afternoon, Miss Rida.
Frida.
ini nggak di-record emang. Yeah. Today, we are from Group 4, want to present you about syllable structure and rhythm. Here is our group members. There is Kartika Maharani, Mideyos Wandra, Nikolaus Bisma, and me, myself, Vida Piarani. And the first part will be read by Kartika. Kartika, if you please.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about syllable. Phonetically, syllables are usually described as consisting of center, which has little or no obstruction to airflow, and which sounds comparatively loud before and after the center. There will be greater obstruction to airflow and or less loud sound. Syllable is a unit of spoken language that is next bigger than a speech sound and consists of one or more vowel sounds alone, or of a syllabic consonant alone, or of either with one or more consonant sounds preceding or following. A syllable is a unit of sound. More specifically, it is a single segment of uninterrupted sound that is typically produced with a single pulse of air from the lungs. Syllable is a unit of spoken language consisting of a single uninterrupted sound symbolized by a symbol of syllable. A smaller units of words bigger than a speech sound, there is at least one syllable in every word. Humans need syllable as a way of segmenting the stream of speech and giving it a rhythm of strong and weak beats. There are three types of syllables. The first one is stressed or strong syllables. A stressed syllable is the syllable which has more emphasis than the other syllables in a word. In phonology, a heavy or strong syllable is considered to be with a branching rhyme. For example, one that has a long vowel or diphthong nucleus, or a vowel followed by a coda. The typical patterns are vowel vowel, consonant vowel vowel, consonant vowel plus consonant, consonant vowel consonant consonant, consonant vowel vowel consonant consonant, and consonant vowel vowel consonant. The second one is reduced syllables. A reduced syllable is an unaccented or unstressed syllable in which one of the sounds is either left out or changed. The third one is unstressed or weak syllables. An unstressed syllable Okay, I'm sorry. An unstressed syllable is the syllable which we do not emphasize in a word. A weak or light syllable is one with no branching rhyme. For example, one that has a short vowel with or without a consonant following. The typical patterns are vowel, consonant vowel, and consonant vowel consonant. For example, rain and sea are heavy syllable. The first syllable of reduce and the second syllable of father are weak ones. Many English syllables are categorized as weak syllables. Weak syllables only have four types of weak. Those are the vowel schwa, a closed front unrounded vowel in the general area of a and I. a close back-rounded vowel in the general area of and a syllabic consonant. The vowel in a weak syllable tends to be shorter, has lower intensity, and different in quality. So these are the examples of stressed syllable, unstressed syllable, and reduced syllable. Next, please. Again, these are the examples. Next, please. Okay, so there is monosyllabic and polysyllabic words. Monosyllabic or monosyllable is an utterance or a word having only one syllable. Examples of monosyllables in a sentence: my dear, you are late to class. Put your pen down now. And then polysyllable or polysyllabic words are words which have two or more syllables. In a polysyllabic words, in between every syllables are usually marked with periods. For example, chicken, children, windmill, etc. Okay, syllable structure is gonna be explained by Kak Bisma. Thank you.
Sorry, by midday.
Right, by Midi.
Alright, thank you, Rida. Next part is syllable structure. The basic structure of syllable consists of an onset C consonant and a rim vocal consonant, nucleus plus coda. But note that the onset and coda are optional. Not all words has an onset and or coda. For example, the word limit consists of two syllables, li and mit. First syllable, L is the onset, E is the nucleus. Second syllable, M is the onset, I is the nucleus, and T is the coda. Here is the picture. Alright, onset. Onset is the name of consonant sounds that are positioned before the vowel sounds. Not all words has consonant at their beginning, so this structure is optional only for words that has a consonant or more at the front of the word. For example, cat, smile, and scrub are words that has an onset, while the word air didn't have an onset because it begins with a vowel. An onset could be consists of one consonant, two consonant, three triple consonant, or more consonant sounds consonant cluster. One consonant onset, for example, pet, cat, tail, watch, etc. Two consonant onset, example, black, cloak, growl, claw, etc. Three consonant onset, example, splash, scrub, sprout, etc. Okay, next part will be explained by Kak Bisma.
Okay, I will explain this part. So rhyme. Rhyme is the name of for the sounds after the onset. Rhyme could consist of just a nucleus or combination of nucleus and coda. Nucleus. Nucleus vowels is a branch of rhyme that is made out of vowel sounds. Nucleus, like its name, is the center and most important structure of a syllable, because all syllable has nucleus. Diphthongs and triptongs can also serve as the nucleus. Syllables with short vowels as nuclei are sometimes referred to as light syllables, while syllables with long vowels, diphthongs or triptongs are nuclei, as nuclei are referred to as heavy syllables. Sonorant consonants such as liquids, r and l, for example, the sound l in battle, and nasal, such as m and n, can serve as the nucleus if there is no vowel. The peak of sonority or nucleus. The nucleus, other than vowels, there is other option for nucleus. There is nasal consonant and liquid consonant. First, for the nasal consonants, in the word rhythm, the second syllable is unstressed and is pretty short. Our articulators go from the sounds at the end of the words at the end of the first syllable to the m sound. The m itself becomes the nucleus of the syllable. It is said to be a syllabic consonant. The little vertical line below the m symbol is called a diacritic. Diacritics are special additional notations we add to IPA symbols to give extra information about the sounds. The vertical line is the diacritic for a syllabic consonant. Next is syllabic liquid consonant. When we speak the word funnel, we don't produce a vowel in the second unstressed syllable. Instead, we produce the l as a syllabic l so that it is the nucleus of the syllable. The notation is the same with the diacritic for the syllabic. So the syllabic nasal consonant and syllabic liquid consonant are used when there are no vowels in a word such as rhythm and funnel. Uh, Here is an example of nucleus: pat, cat, clock, splash, scrub, and eye, hour, and So nucleus is the middle part or the first vowel of the syllable, as you can see. And then the last structure is coda. A coda or consonant is a consonant on the end of a syllable or syllable's tail. Coda is an optional structure, like onset, on the word, and syllable might not have a consonant at its end. Syllable with a coda are referred as closed syllables, while syllables without coda are referred as open syllables. So there's the picture. For example, the word duly, duly, the syllables do is an open consonant, is an open syllables, and the word li is an open consonant as well. Then there is a word bonus. The first syllable of the word bonus, bo, is an open consonant, while the syllable nus is a closed consonant because s works as a coda on the nus syllable. Next, syllable rhythm will be explained by Kabisma.
Okay, thank you. Now let's move to the syllable rhythm. Next slide. So, in phonetics, rhythm is the sense of movement in speech, marked by the stress, timing, and quantity of syllables. Syllables and stress in English are the two elements of rhythm, and rhythm is one of the elements of speech that talks about motions. It describes the movement, speech, and cadence of the words used in a sentence. Just like intonation and stress, rhythm is an important factor in expressing effective sentence making or speech delivery. Pitch, loudness, and tempo combine to make up a language expression of rhythm. Language vary greatly in the way in which they make rhythmical contrast. Uh, in the case of English, it used stressed syllables produced at roughly regular intervals of time and separated by unstressed syllables. A stressed timed rhythm which we can tap out in a tom-ti-tom way, as in this line, the curfew tolls the knell of parting day. So the capitalized syllable is the stressed syllable, while the uncapitalized is the unstressed. Next slide. So there are two elements of rhythm. The first one is the stress. Stress in English affects the rhythm of the words in a sentence. If you place the wrong stress in one of the words in a sentence, the whole meaning of the sentence will be changed and the rhythm as well will be changed. We have two examples here. The correct one is she is present in the program. For the incorrect one is she is present in the program. So note that there is a difference of meaning between present and present. And the second one is syllables. The number of syllables in a sentence affects the rhythm of the sentence. Each syllable has an equivalent meter per sentence. If the sentence has 10 syllables, then the rhythm is slow, and if it has 4 syllables, then it is slower. For example, an amazing teacher has a lot of patience to teach. The sentence has 14 syllables and the rhythm is slow but longer. The second example is the dog runs at the back. The sentence has 6 syllables and the rhythm is fast because here the word is shorter. Alright, there is another one, weak syllables and rhythm. All of this means that the unstressed syllables in English often sound very weak and can sometimes barely be heard at all. These words are said to have a weak form, as the speaker reduces the vowel and rushes over the sound in order to reach the next stressed word. Speakers do this to maintain the important rhythm of English. The unstressed syllables can expand to fill more time between the stressed syllables in English. This is how the speaker creates the correct or expected rhythm. Actually, the syllables can become shorter if there is less time between stresses. This syllable expansion and constriction happens so that the overall rhythm of the sentence remains constant. This constant rhythm in English is essential to the sound and feel of the language. Next slide. And here we have the rhythm of English. The rhythm of English is created by stressing and distressing some words of syllables. The words that we are stressing are the content words that carries the meaning of the sentence. The content words are nouns, main verbs, adjectives, adverbs, interjections, negatives, and stressing means we say the syllables or words longer, louder, and higher in pitch. The words that we are distressing are the function words such as prepositions, pronouns, article, conjunctions, and auxiliary verbs. For example, the yellow one is the unstressed and the red one is the stressed word. I want a new iPhone. If we look only at the stressed word, one new iPhone, we can still understand the meaning of the sentence. They want the new iPhone, but if we only focusing on the distressed word I and A, we won't understand the sentence meaning. Alright, I think that's all from our group. Thank you for listening. We are also open for question after this. So if you have some question, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you.
Okay, so actually, before closing, we have a little conclusion for you guys that might need it. So, for the conclusion, syllable is a unit of spoken language that is bigger than speech sounds, sometimes smaller than a word. There are three types of syllable: stressed, unstressed, and reduced syllables. There are two types of syllabic words: monosyllabic, which that word only has one syllable, and polysyllabic words for words that has more than one syllable. A syllable usually have at least one sonorous sound, surrounded by less sonorous sounds. Vowels are the most sonorous sounds, so most syllables have a vowel as the nucleus. But Some consonants could be served as a nucleus if syllables don't have a vowel at all, just a sonorous consonant. These consonants are called nasal consonant, the sound m and n, and the liquids consonant, and the liquids l and r. Nasal consonants are quite sonorous because they are flow resonates through the nasal cavity even when the oral cavity is stopped, and the liquids are also quite sonorous because air is allowed to flow around the tongue. The structure of a syllable consists of an onset and rhyme. Rhyme itself has two branches, those are nucleus and coda. Onset and coda are optional structure because not all words have them. Next, syllable rhythm. Rhythm is the sense of movement in speech, marked by the stress, timing, loudness, and the quantity of syllables. Rhythms has three main elements. These are stressed syllable, unstressed syllables, and the number of syllables. The rhythm of English is created by stressing and distressing some words or syllables. The stressed words are words that carries the contents of the sentence. The distressed words are the function words. Okay, that's all from our group. Thank you for the attention. If you have questions, you can uh, ask. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oh yeah,
Waalaikumsalam.
uh, we have some
Waalaikumsalam.
video. I forget. Uh, uh, ano, should we play the video now or okay? Iki, I
I
need
think
your
video.
help.
Okay, send me the link.
All right. Thank
Well,
you.
I think the video first and then the question.
Okay, sorry. Forgot. Hey,
Sorry, where's the link? Okay. Okay, so you have two videos. Okay?
yes,
Okay.
right.
Please wait a
Okay.
minute. I'm sorry, I think in the outside there's orang lagi ngelas. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Okay, can everyone see the video, the YouTube page?
Yes.
Okay, let's begin.
Hello and welcome back to a new lecture on phonetics and phonology. In the previous lectures we described consonants and vowels and we talked about the articulators. Now the question is it enough to know how a sound is pronounced in isolation? Try to pronounce this word at your normal pace. Entertaining. Now try to pronounce it very slowly. Most likely you'll get ning. If that's correct, and that's what you got, then the question here we need to ask is why? Why do most of us, especially native speakers, come up with the same breakdown? Why is it that this one is correct, but this one is not? Well, these parts here are what we call syllables. These syllables are the blocks that we see here, or the beats when we are pronouncing a word, like entertainment or entertaining. So entertaining. These are 4 beats here. This means this word has 4 syllables. Now part of knowing English is knowing how to divide these words up into syllables. Not only that, but as linguists, we want to know how these syllables are represented in the mind. Some might say that they're not represented in the mind at all, but rather that we memorize words as we learn them. But if that were the case, then let's take a made-up word. How would you break up this word into syllables? Is it like this? Tree, ta, pa, ta, bli. If that's the case, then how would we be able to explain this using the idea of memorization? Surely we did not memorize this word because I just made it up. Syllabification is the process of breaking up words into syllables. Now we've just seen that memorization cannot account for this. It has to be represented somehow by general rules in our mind. So what are these general rules for syllabification? Well, first off, let's look at the generally agreed upon structure of any syllable in any language. The syllable, which we use this symbol here, sigma, which is going to stand for the syllable, is broken up into two main parts, the onset and the rhyme. Some people write rhyme like this. Either way is fine. The rhyme is then broken up into two parts, the nucleus and the coda. So let's take a word like cat. The first thing you want to do is change this into phonemic transcription. So we're going to get cat. The vowel here is the nucleus. The t is the coda and k is the onset. So this is a very basic example just to get you to see what the syllable looks like. Now, generally speaking, what goes into the nucleus position is the vowel, but not only vowels. So what we want to say is that it is the element that is highest in sonority. Sonority basically means loudness. So vowels are the highest in sonority, but also some consonants. Keep that in mind. We'll talk about this later. For now, though, let's just say that the vowel always takes the nucleus position. And as you probably have figured out by now, the onset takes whichever consonant is before the vowel, and the coda takes whichever consonant is after the vowel. Now, the only obligatory part in the syllable is the nucleus. That means every syllable must have a nucleus. At the same time, since the nucleus is part of the rhyme, then we could also say that the rhyme is also obligatory. But not every part. The coda is not obligatory. Now, like we said, the onset is optional and the coda is optional. They don't have to be there in every word, but the nucleus is obligatory. Let's take some examples. Take, for example, the word it. Again, remember the first thing we want to do is give it the phonemic transcription. So that's it. And now since I is the vowel, we put it under the nucleus. After it is the T, so we put that under the coda. And there is no onset here. Here's another example where we have no coda. T, which would receive the following phonemic transcription. T. Again, first thing we do is put in the nucleus right there. And this consonant is before the vowel, so we put it under here. So in this case, we have an onset in the nucleus, but no coda. Now, sometimes you can have even more than one onset and more than one coda. Take, for example, the word stand. Always remember to do the transcription first, like so. Let's put in our nucleus. Next, let's look after the vowel and see what we have. Well, we have two sounds, N and the D sound. Before it, we have also two sounds, like so. Now we get stand. Also, make sure that you take diphthongs as one unit under the nucleus. For example, play or played. Transcription is played. Now this is a diphthong. A diphthong is basically two vowels, but we treat it here as one unit. So we take this diphthong and we have it under the nucleus. Then we'll have our coda and an onset made up out of two sounds, played. So now we've seen that we can have more than one onset, we can have more than one coda, and the onsets can be optional, the codas can be optional, but we can only have one nucleus, and this nucleus is obligatory. All right, let's take a full word and see how we can syllabify it. Take the word diploma. Phonetic transcription or phonemic transcription is like so. So how do we go about creating syllables or syllabification? First thing we want to do is start off with the nucleus. This is a diphthong, so this is the nucleus. This is another vowel, that's the nucleus. Go ahead and build up the rest of the syllable. So the nucleus is part of a rhyme, and the rhyme is part of the syllable. Let's do the same thing here. Great. Now, it's better off to start at the end of the word and go to the left. Ask yourself if there's an available onset for each nucleus. So from the nucleus, I would look to the left and locate a consonant. Here's a consonant, so that's going to be the onset, like so. Same here, L is the onset, and over here as well, D is the onset. What about this P here? Do I make this P another onset like this, or do I make it a coda for this syllable? If you ask a native speaker to break this word up into syllables, or to syllabify this word, they would probably come up with diploma, not diploma. So it doesn't matter how many native speakers you ask, 9 times out of 10 they're going to give you this syllabification. Well, then that means that they are following some rule for syllabification, maybe even rules. So let's see what rules exist here. Why is it that native speakers prefer to make this a second onset instead of giving it to the coda of this syllable? In the next lecture, we're going to discuss exactly why this is the case. See you there.
Okay, so that is the first video, and we are gonna move on to the second video by Ridapi. Okay, wait a minute, please.
Hi there, my name's Chris Americos, and I've been teaching English for the
yeah,
last
hello,
11
bye.
years.
Okay, so can anyone see this video?
Yes.
Okay, so let's begin.
Hey everyone, welcome to elementalenglish.com. Today's lesson is rhythm practice, stress and de-stress, an English pronunciation lesson. Introduction. Every language has its own music or rhythm. So if you speak English with the music of your first language, others may have a hard time understanding you. For example, in American English, we say the name of those little green bean snacks that we get at Japanese restaurants as edamame by de-stressing the second syllable and stressing the third syllable. In Japanese, however, a language where syllables carry equal stress, they would say it something more like edamame. So the same exact word completely changes because of the music of each language. The rhythm of English. The rhythm of English is created by stressing some words and de-stressing others. First, we stress content words, which carry meaning in a sentence. These include nouns, main verbs, adjectives, adverbs, interjections, WH words, and negatives. Stress means we say a syllable or word longer, louder, and higher in pitch. Second, we also de-stress function words, typically little words, which are more about the grammar and structure of the sentence. These include prepositions, pronouns, articles, conjunctions, and auxiliary verbs. Let's practice the rhythm of English by playing with the words in a sentence. If I spoke like a little child using only content words, notice that you would still understand me despite the incorrect grammar. For example, want new iPhone. Here, I stress the verb, adjective, and noun and said each of them nice and clearly on the beat. Want new iPhone. Now, let's add some function words for correct grammar and notice how the musical beat of the content words stays the same. I want a new iPhone. Did you hear that the same 3 content words still carried the same beat of the music of the sentence? This is because native English speakers say those de-stressed function words very quickly. Listen again. Want new iPhone. I want a new iPhone. This stressing and de-stressing is part of what creates the music of English. This is why if you speak English with the music of your first language, it may create confusion for the listener. Now, let's play with a few more sentences, but this time, let's say them how we would speak in everyday life. Can you still hear the same musical beat in the rhythm of English? Listen and repeat. Want get new iPhone. I want to get a new iPhone. Notice how want to became wanna. Search word Google. Search the word on Google. Find man Facebook. You can find the man on Facebook. Order Amazon. I'll order it on Amazon. Don't forget to subscribe to the Elemental English channel on YouTube. Ask your questions in the comments. And if this lesson was helpful to you, feel free to share it with friends and family on
Okay, so that's the video. So I'm going to give the comment back to Miss Rida. Miss Rida, you may take the control here.
Okay, thank you, Iki. So, is there anyone who wants to ask questions?
I want to ask a question as I don't really comprehend the concept of the types of syllable. So I want to ask you. So it is mentioned that there are stressed, reduced, and unstressed syllable.
Yes, right.
So I don't really understand the unstressed syllables definition on the second slide and on the on the early slides. Can you re-explain, please?
Okay, is there anyone who wants to ask the questions?
Thank
Right.
you.
Okay. I will save your questions first. So, is there anyone who wants to ask other than Iki?
I forgot to add. The reason that I'm confused because it mentions like schwa and something like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, for that part, I find it on Peter G. Roach book, and I tried to find it on internet for further explanations, but I cannot find any, so I just include them. But I didn't give any further informations because it's hard to find one. Sorry.
Okay, it's fine.
Iki, I'm sorry, could you please repeat the question?
So can you
Isia Sharini, and 14 more. 1356. U. Ritopia. 114 FSASING 2020A. Keyboard underscore arrow underscore up. Present underscore to underscore all. Present.
Are stressed syllable, unstressed syllable, and reduced syllables. So, stressed syllables is a syllable which has more emphasis than the other syllables in a word. Uh, in phonology, a heavy or strong syllable is considered to be with a branching rhyme. For example, one that has long vowel or diphthong nucleus or a vowel followed by a coda. The typical patterns are vocal-vocal, consonant-vocal-vocal, consonant-vocal-consonant, consonant-vocal double consonant, consonant-vowel-vowel double consonant, and consonant-vowel-vowel consonants. So, stress syllables. When you say a word that has two syllables, like, wait, let me find examples. Here. For the word father, like the unstressed syllables, the first syllables fa is a stressed syllable because it has more emphasis than the second syllable the. So father. So the fa is emphasis. So stressed syllables is a syllables that has more emphasis, and sometimes you say it with a louder pitch, higher pitch, and louder. And so then the unstressed syllable is a syllable which we did not emphasis in a word, so we just read it like monotone. Sometimes are called weak or light syllables, and it has no branching rhyme. Uh, unstressed syllables usually has a short vowel with or without a consonant following. The typical patterns are vowels, consonant-vowels, and consonant-vowel consonants. For example, again, we will make the word father as the example. So in the first syllable of the word father, fa is the stressed syllable, and the second syllable, do, is a weak syllable. When you say father, the sound is not as loud as the fa sound. So in English itself, many syllables are categorized as weak syllables, and they have four types of peak. The word swa, a close front. I found this on the book, but I don't understand the further explanation, so I didn't add the information in here. And then the last type of syllables is reduced syllables. A reduced syllables is an unaccented or unstressed syllable in which one of the sounds is either left out or changes. So the difference between unstressed syllables and reduced syllables is when you read unstressed syllable, you read it with a monotone. But when you read reduced syllables, there are words or sounds that are left out. So stressed syllable are said with a stronger, as I mean, with emphasis. The unstressed syllable without emphasis, and reduced syllables with some parts that are left out or changes.
I see. So, can I give an example, please? So the word comfortable is like comfortable. So the comf is stressed, the the foot is reduced, and the able is unstressed. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Rida.
Actually, there is a table if you guys want to see. Here is the example. So for the stress syllable, appreciate, there is implicit, explain, allege, and sometimes the stress syllable could be said with longer, could say longer and louder. And for the unstressed syllable, there is creation, simplistic, chaotic, tempestuous, fantastic, prognosis, and causality. And for reduced syllables, deprecate, implication, explanation, indication, emphasis, demonstration. So for the reduced syllable, if you guys still don't understand maybe, in the word demonstration, sometimes the sounds oh nya, nya itu we didn't say it clearly. So like demonstrations, mah and nah sounds, and we left out the vocals. Demonstrations. Okay, okay, Ki. Can't you understand what I explained?
All right. Thank you, Miss Rida. So the reduced syllable is like uh either to skip it or change it with schwa, like
Yeah.
emphasis demonstration. Instead of demonstration, it is demonstration. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Rida. Thank you, Miss Rida. That is
You're
quite
welcome.
helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone who want to ask question?
I think Alvin want to ask in the chat.
Okay. Oh, Alvin. So unstressed syllable and weak syllable is actually the same. Here, let me show again. So unstressed syllables and weak syllables is the same. It's just the difference in between name because some people categorize syllables by their weight, like strong, weak, and yeah, and reduce. So because I categorize it in three types, so I categorize it by stress, unstressed, and reduced. But actually, weak syllables and unstressed syllables are the same.